Good morning, dear students. I welcome you for the second lesson of History Class 5, EVS 2. The name of the lesson is History and the Concept of Time. As the title itself is quite suggestive, without time, history has no value because we are studying history and we are studying a time, a duration of time that is past. So in history, time is important, the concept of time is important as we are studying past time. Okay, so in this lesson there are some topics that will be covered. These topics include division of time and the timeline, then measurement of time and methods of measuring time. Then next one is historical periods. There are certain historical periods we'll be seeing in this lesson. Then we have scientific method of measuring time and establishing ages. So these four important concepts we'll be studying throughout this lesson. So one by one we'll be discussing about them. So let's begin with the first point, division of time and the timeline. Okay, there are different methods of recognizing time, and we always say that time is continuous. It doesn't wait for anybody. Okay, but for our convenience, we have divided the time into periods. The methods that we use for reckoning time depend on the purpose for dividing it and the manner in which we do it. For example, at sunrise we say it is morning now, the day has begun. The same way at sunset we say it is evening now and soon it will be night. At the end of the day it will become dark and it is night. This means that we have divided the day into two parts. We can say one is day and the other is night. As you know that the earth rotates around its axis at certain speed. Because of that we can have the day and night. As when we are getting the sun rays, that time is called as a daytime. When the part of the earth is getting the sun rays, that part become day, and the part which is not getting the sun rays become night. It is happening because the rotation and revolution of earth. So what is rotation? Rotation means the earth is rotating around its axis from west to east in a particular speed that we call the rotation of the earth. Then there is one more thing, that is revolution of the earth. Along with rotating itself, earth also revolve around the sun, and this revolution required 365 days or 66 days, what we call as a year, and rotation time is a day or 24 hours. So because of this we are able to get different seasons. Because of the rotation of the earth we can see day and night. So day and night is the result of rotation of the earth, and the years are the result of revolution of the earth. As the earth rotates around its axis, that part of its surface which is towards the sun become bright. the part that moves away from the sun moves into darkness. Okay, the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis. These 24 hours are approximately divided into 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of night. Okay, a period of daytime and the following nights together make a day. So what we call one day, that include a night also and a day also. Okay, so we have talked about rotation, then we have talked about the revolution of the earth. Then the next concept is division of time. As I have told you, division of time can be like daytime and night. So 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And then there are certain units of time that we can see, like 7 days from Monday to Sunday make 1 week. Okay, there are 7 days in a week, so from Monday to Sunday it makes a week. Then 2 weeks make a fortnight. Fortnight is a period of 2 weeks, or we can say 14 days. Okay, and 4 weeks make a month. So 4 week makes month, where either we have 30 days or 31 days. So months we have. So from week, then fortnight is a period of 14 days. So in a month there will be 2 fortnights. Okay, and then 12 months make a year. In this manner we reckon time in bigger and bigger units. Means the time is getting increase. Means like 1 year is followed by another, and when 100 years go by, a century is completed. A century is a period of 100 years. Then 10 centuries make 1000 years. That is also known as a millennium. Okay, millennium is made up of 100 years or 10 centuries. Okay, such a method of dividing time is known as unilinear division of time. Unilinear of division time means what? When we are dividing the time, like we are dividing the time into seconds, then we are dividing into minutes, then hours, then day, then we divide it as a week. After a week there is fortnight. After fortnight we have a month, and then after months we the group of months makes a year, and group of years make a century, and centuries also are further divided as a millennium, where we have 1000 years time as a millennium. So this way this is following a line. So it's a following a line, or it's a following a sequence. That's why it is called as a unilinear division of time. I hope you must have understood about the unilinear division of time, and from this discussion you must have understood that the second is the smallest countable unit of time, and the biggest unit of time or the largest unit of time can be a millennium, which include 1000 years. So there we have the division of time. Then next is the dating system, or the time is divided into 2 groups. Like we always saw, now 2020 is going on. And then how we come to know that this year is only 2020, why not 2021 or why not 2019? So behind this we have to go back some years. For this reason, as people were confused to count the time or divide the time, the years, so what they did, so they decided to have a common calendar or common, we can say, uh, common calendar that we have the dividation of time. So people decided to have a common calendar, and it was considered that they decided that we'll start a new calendar that we are following today, international calendar that we are following, that was started, or they have fixed a certain point uh, from where they will start counting the modern age or the common era. So this year when Jesus Christ was born, that year is considered the first year of calendar that is followed today. It means from birth of Jesus Christ, this common era, or what we call CE and AD, Anno Domini, is a word which means in the year of Lord, our Lord. So when Jesus Christ was born, from that onwards or from that year onwards, people started calling that period as AD, or what we call as Anno Domini. The meaning of that word is in the year of our Lord. Okay, the calendar that we use today is based on Christian era, now called the Common Era. This era began in the memory of Jesus Christ. Okay, I have told you. The first year of this era is the year when it began. So it is shown with the number 1. The year after that are indicated by the next number in serial order. The first 100 years, that is the first century of this era, can be written like 1 to 100 CE or 1 to 100 AD. This way this can be written. The period of the first millennium of this era is written as 1 to 1000 CE or 1 to 1000 AD. So this is the broadly division of AD. Then one more time division we have, the time before the common era, or it is also known as BCE, from where this time is considered before the birth of Jesus Christ. Whatever that happened in the world, whatever has happened before the birth of Jesus Christ, that is categorized, that is grouped in BCE or before common era. So the time before birth of Jesus Christ is known as BCE, or it is also known as BC. So full form of BCE is before common era, and full form of BC is before Christ. The year of this period are counted and written in reverse order. So we have to write the years in reverse order. The first century before the common era begin at the year 100 BCE and ended with 1 BCE. So here we are writing in reverse order. Okay. Similarly, the first millennium before the common era begin at the year 1000 BCE and ended with the year 1 BCE. So the first century before the common era is indicated as 100 to 1 BCE. That is exactly opposite of common era. Okay, this is the difference you have to remember, and don't get confused. Only one thing you have to remember is that dates are written in reverse order, because we start counting reverse from the birth of Jesus Christ. So dates are written in reverse order. Okay. So we can have one example of this method of indicating time before the common era or Christian era. Like the lifetime of Vardhaman Mahavir is written as 599 BC to 527 BC. Okay, it is written in reverse order. First, what is written? 599 BC to 527 BC. The lifetime of Gautam Buddha is written as 563 BC to 483 BC. So means reverse order it is written. First the last or the greater number is written, and the at last the smaller number, or we can say birth. So this way it is written. And so I hope you have understood about the dating system of AD and CE and BC and BCE. Here also we have given example with the figure. That point, if you see this in the middle of this figure, there is one line, longer line. There you can see on the left side of that line BCE or BC is written, which means the longer line is indicating the birth of Jesus Christ. From that onwards we are going reverse. You can see BCE 100, BCE 500, BCE 1000, BCE 1500, then BCE 2000. But whereas if you see from the right side of the line, like ADCE 100, ADCE 500, ADCE 1000, ADCE 1500, and then ADCE 2000. This way, that is ADCE, the calendar that we are following right now. So 2020 is included into AD or CE, but many time we don't write ADCE along with the year. But when you are writing the date which is included in BC or before common era, you must write that BC, because it will otherwise confuse us. So this way we have to remember. Then measurement of time and methods of measuring time. We have to measure time is to measure the length of time. Okay, we know the following units of measuring time. Those are a second, minute, hour, day, week, fortnight, then month, year, century, millennium, as I told before some time. A second is the smallest unit of time. There are various methods of measuring time in different parts of the world. Of these, the common era or the Christian era is the most widely used. So which years we are using, like 2020 when we are seeing, that is mostly used in most of the part of the world. So there will not be confusion, but still we have different calendar system in different part of our country also. Even religion wise we have different calendar systems. Okay, we generally indicate a particular day by writing the date of the day first. The date consists of serial number of that day followed by the name or serial number of the current month, and then serial number of the current year. This way we write the dates. First we write the day or date, then we write month, and then we write current year, like this. Okay, for example, if you are writing a date, today, suppose today is 5th May, then we write first we write a date like 5th, then we are writing month, that is month May I told, and 2020 is the year. So there are other methods too. We have seen the Christian era begin in the memory of Jesus Christ. It is an age old custom to start a new era to commemorate a special event, as for example the coronation of great king. Okay, in our country we have different calendar system. As I was telling you, we know that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had started a new era that was known as Shaki or Shak, it is also called. So it was known as the Rajyabhishek Shaka, that was done, or coronation ceremony of Shivaji Maharaj, to commemorate or to get people should remember that year he has started a calendar, or he has started a new calendar, that was Rajyabhishek Shaka. So it was done in 1674 AD, means after the birth of Jesus Christ, before we can say 400 year or around more than that. Okay, this period is. Then we have Shalivahan Shake also, that is Indian, and Vikram Samvat are the two eras that are used in India. So it means that our most of the festivals of Hindu religions are based on a calendar that is followed by Indians, where we have different months, like we have Ashad, then we have the months like Shravan. Though Indian or Hindu people following the religious festivals, they are based on the Indian calendar. They are not based on the calendar of international, or we can say common era calendar. That's why some festivals get changing the dates every time. Sometime we have Diwali in the month of October, sometime we have in the month of November. It is because the calendar, we are not following the calendar for festivals, that is January, having the months like January, February. We are following the calendar where we have the month like Shravan, Ashad, such type of months. Okay, and then the founder of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, migrated from Mecca to Medina. Okay, so to commemorate that incident, the Hijri era was started, and Muslim people are following that particular calendar, or that they have the calendar, this calendar. Then Parsi community in India also uses Shahin Shahi era. They use Shahin Shahi era. So Parsi people have a separate calendar, community calendar, and then Hindu have their community calendar, Muslim people have their community calendar. Okay, then we have historic periods. Okay, where we have historic periods, means history is broadly divided into we can say two groups that we learned in the one of the part. That history is the science that tells us about the event that has happened in the past. So we also learned that every bygone moment makes the past. The past is the subject matter of history. In broad sense, the period of history goes back to time of Jesus, the time of birth of solar system. Okay, when the birth of solar system happened, from that time we have the life on the earth. Our solar system came into being about 4.5 billion years ago. Okay, earth is a planet in the solar system. So it is presumed that the earth was also formed 4.5 billion years ago. Okay, the span of 4.5 billion years since the earth's formation is a very vast period of time. So it is not easy to grasp this entire period at once. So it is necessary to divide it into a number of stages. So the time is divided like the time is, or the historic periods, we have two historic periods. One is prehistoric period and the other is historic period. So if you see for the historic periods, okay, so for historic period is simply means before history. prehistoric period I am talking. Prehistoric period means what? A prehistoric period is before history. Means the prehistoric period is the period for which no written records are available by which to write its history. Means when the records were not available and people could not make the records, that period is known as prehistory time. What is that period is known? Prehistory time. And the other period or the second type is historic period. Historic period means what? The historic period is the period for which written records are available, which we can use to write the history. Okay, so history periodic periods are divided into two major groups, like prehistoric time where there were no written records available but we have the evidences. The second is historic period where we have recorded, or the people started recording the events. They started writing the books, or they started keeping the records. So that period is known as historic period. And when there were no written records, that is prehistoric period. The last point of our lesson will be talking now, that is scientific method of measuring time and establishing dates. So we are actually measuring time when we talk about today's date or day of the week. So we have seen that there are various methods of measuring time. This method allow us to identify a particular day. Then it is also allow us to identify a particular month. So suppose we are writing a date. Suppose you are writing a date like 15 August 2019. So we can identify the date because it is written, like day is written, then month is written, the year is written. Okay, so for our convenience we have made such good arrangement where we can identify the dates and we can measure the time. This method allow us to identify particular day and year with respect to a earlier or later day. For example, it is June, then we know that the earlier period was May and the next month will be July. Okay, so if today is 10th of June, then we can tell that tomorrow is what? 11th of June, and yesterday was 9th June. Okay, thus we measure time, we actually measure its length. Okay, the events before the beginning of common era are mentioned as having occurred before common era. Okay, information about some of these events can only be obtained with the help of evidences that are buried under the ground. Okay, this evidence is usually in the form of we can say like if you want to know about the prehistoric time, though there were no written records available, and but there were many things available rather. Like if we always tell that there were age of dinosaurs. So we have proofs of dinosaurs, we have the skeleton of dinosaur. That's why we are saying that there were dinosaurs on the earth. So we have certain proofs which tells us that this thing has happened in the past, because we have found the remains of these things. Like we have found the artifacts, we have found the fallen structures or fallen buildings, we can say underground. Those are underground. With the help of these remains and using scientific method, we can determine the time of event that took place 1000 years ago. Okay, there are many layers of the soil, as you know, and deposited on one or the other from the surface of the ground. The period of this layer and of the remain found in them cannot be stated definitely in terms of dates. Okay, but we can roughly estimate how many years ago they existed, and for that reason we have certain methods. We can have the example of carbon 14 analysis. Carbon 14 method is the method where we can identify the age of that suppose we got an skeleton, suppose we got a bone, or suppose we got a pot. So we can identify the age of that particular object with the help of carbon 14 method. Then we have the another method, that is tree ring analysis method, also known as the tree ring method. Okay, so from rings of the trees, if you look at inside the tree, if you cut the tree and look inside of the tree, then we can find the circles or rings. On that ring, some we can say we can identify the age of the trees or such way. By using these dating techniques, we learned how old the layer of soil and the remain are found in them, and then we can determine their period approximately. It is not exact, but approximately we can tell the day period of that particular time or particular thing has been found. Suppose we got a certain thing, so we can guess the age of that particular thing by using techniques like carbon 14 is one of the well-known techniques. So it is possible to guess the age of that particular object with the help of certain scientific methods. That's why it is known as the scientific method of measuring time and establishing time. So as the time is passing, the peoples are inventing new and new techniques to find about the past. So it will be in the future also continuing to develop. In future perhaps we will be able to tell exact the dates, and more information can be gained by the scientific method. Okay, so I hope all points are clear to you. So here with the conclusion we will end this discussion.